Ever built something out of nothing? Ever known what it costs to be a boss? Ever met outstanding entrepreneurs that stand for something and don't fall for anything? Jiheshimu, lakini usikajidanganye. Know your worth, gain value. Established African. Welcome to Established African, and today is a beautiful day. Actually, I have an interesting, we've never had a Mzungu on this show, so today I have a Mzungu and I'm so happy to have one, matter of fact. But anyway, he goes by the name of Mr. Lucas Lambert, and he's a very interesting guy. You'll get to know him. I was just surprised. Then he just sees he's a boss. He's a hustler, he's a biker, I mean, this guy, he's just an African. He's a black man in a white skin, you know. I don't even know how to put it together, but yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Lucas to Established African Commercial Fridays.
Wow, Castro. Thanks for the introduction. I mean, if I was to run for president, I would definitely just have Castro do all these presentations and everything for me. I can be like, Castro, you just talk for me, and I'm going to be president. First of all, yeah, it's weird that this is called Established African, and then you just put a white person in. So I don't know what crack you smoked that day, but anyway, thanks for
my white community people in Africa. You are Africans. Nobody should tell you you're not Africans, because history tells us you all came from us. So you're an African. Know that from now onwards.
Boom, shakalaka. Niko chonjo mazini, hata nimeshukuru sana.
You're more killing than me, man. I'm even seeing the, you know.
I'm putting I have to put the
details, you know what I mean?
Yeah, lazima ukue chonjo. Ukiingia hivi. You have to come, when you come somewhere, you have to be like smart, man. So but I never dress like this by this. You said I'm a biker. So I'm a biker, you know, let me tell you, bikers, we come in, you know, we have our clothes, and then we have the biker pants.
Yes.
So I'm used to going to, like, I'll go into a meeting with serious people, like, you know, like you'll have like CEOs and stuff.
Yes.
And I just walk up to them and just pull off my pants, just pull down my pants, and people are like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Bikers are weird, man. Bikers are just weird. You know what I mean? You guys live in your own uniforms. You know, you like moving life fast. You know, I was even observing you. You can't chill one place. You gotta keep moving. Like, you gotta keep moving as a biker.
Yeah.
All of you have the same trait. Like, I see that.
That's one thing. You know, bikers and pilots. For some reason, there's always some correlation between bikers and pilots. It's very rare to find a pilot who's not a biker. I think it's got something to do with the thrill of the adrenaline.
Yes.
So I was as a kid, I was diagnosed with ADHD. So I pretty much can't sit still. I can't pay attention in class.
Yes.
So I wasn't really good in school, actually. I was really, as my teachers would recollect me, I was quite noisy and stuff. But yeah, it's a trend in bikers. It's also, you know, living on the edge somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of part of what I only got into biking 2 years ago because of the nature of my work.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, as you mentioned,
you get to explain to us.
Which I will get to, yeah.
Karibu sana and welcome to the show. So, I mean, we'll just get down to, I think it's good for Lucas to explain to us who Lucas Lambert really is, you know what I mean? Let's get to know you. Brief history, summarize it.
Right.
Umetoka wapi? How did you end up speaking fluent Swahili?
Okay, don't say fluent, because for the sake of everyone who speaks Swahili, it's an insult to say my Swahili is fluent.
No,
my Swahili
like on a Mzungu's category, to me it's fluent. So
Asante.
how did you end up being good with the vocabulary? But first and foremost, where did you start from?
All right.
How did you become Kenyanized?
Yeah.
But a brief history, bro.
All right. So for me, it started. I was born in Belgium. Lived in France till I was about 6 years old. Then my parents were in flowers, so they just told us, "Up, we're taking the plane and we're going off to Kenya." So
what?
I was too young. Yeah.
Your dad and mom just woke up one day and said they're going to Kenya.
There's a story behind it, but yeah, essentially that's the gist of it. Is one day my mom and my dad, they were just booked a flight and we're like off to Kenya. They were in the flower industry. Kenya is known for being one of the biggest, the top three biggest in the roses, especially.
Yes.
So they thought, my parents have always been business people, so they thought it would be a nice idea just to go to Kenya. Yes. So boom, at the age of 6, here I find myself in Kenya, only speaking French and Dutch. So no English even. Hata kizungu sielewi hapo.
So you can't speak English, can't speak
Swahili, nothing.
In a country that's the top language.
That's pretty much the only languages you get.
Must have been hard on you, man.
To be honest, it wasn't, man, because I'm, as you can tell, I'm a reasonably social guy. So
yes.
I took on quickly, started talking to people, started really interacting, and I picked up English. So my English, then I went to Hillcrest, posh school for posh people and then for delinquents.
Yes.
And after Hillcrest.
How old were you when you came first?
6.
Oh, you were 6.
I was 6 years old, man. I was 6 years old. I remember nothing from Europe. Like if you ask me, kwa roho yangu mimi ni Mkenya.
You're Kenyan. Mimi nimeshakubaliwa ni Mkenya. Hata unakunywa chai, mimi nakunywa maji. Actually, I'm more mzungu than you.
No. He's drinking hot water, and this is, I'm telling you, this is a grandmother's story. Kutoka sijui wapi, ati kukunywa maji moto iko mzuri kwa mwili. Hiyo ndio uongo.
You watch me glow when I'm 80. Hot water. That's the secret, bro.
Okay, well, hot tea, man, that's
you.
But this is actually British, bro. Come on,
it's too British.
It's still British, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so what happened is I got to Kenya, then I went to Hillcrest. I graduated Hillcrest.
Yeah.
Barely, but I graduated. And then I sat down with my parents and was like, look, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to university? Because a lot of people go to university without knowing what they want to do.
Yeah.
You have this
young guys.
A lot of young guys, they say I want to go to uni.
University.
They go to uni, why? Because they want to have the fun life. You want to go and chill with the chile, socialize.
Yes.
And that's one thing. And we decided, me and my parents decided that I wasn't built for that. I wasn't ready. Let's put it that way. I wasn't ready for that. So instead, they told me they just picked me up and just dropped me into their company, which was a flower production company.
Nice.
So, yeah, well.
In Naivasha or here?
No, it's not a farm. So it was they used to buy from farms, and then it was called it's a process where you actually preserve flowers.
Okay. Oh, so they were in the preservation and exportation.
Exportation. It was in the EPZ zone.
Ah, nice.
The Samir
nice,
Park,
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was thrown in on the ground, running into business, launching my own.
So wait, by this time you were already speaking Swahili, like
no.
you already not yet.
Of course,
but English.
English imefika hapo. Si nimeenda Hillcrest, nimesoma hapo. Wamenifundisha. But at that time, my Swahili, of course, the kawaida, habari, asantes. But so my father is quite old. He's in his mid-80s at this point.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, he's good because he's healthy, he's strong, he's firesome. He still builds houses.
Wow.
So at some point he came to it was a 200 plus employee company. 200 plus employees is quite a big company, and I was too young to take over, and he was too old to run that.
Salaries and the wages, I can imagine.
And it's not even that. It's running a company.
People's management.
It's hard, and there's always micromanagement. There's always a snake in the grass somewhere that you gotta weed out.
Yes.
And being a boss, and I don't know if this is, it's definitely not a racial, some people tell me that it's a racial thing. I personally don't think it's that, but I think the moment that you're being put in a position of being a boss, and you drive in with your big car, and people distance themselves from you.
People avoid you because they think, you hold the power of, their income. So they think if they brush you off, you'll cut off their income.
No, but also there's also a disparity where I wouldn't call it jealousy, but I would call it the sense that I would feel like that. I would feel like that personally myself. And envy. There's always a sense of this person has these things going for him and he's behind this.
Yes.
I am here employed by this guy.
Yes.
Anyway, so long story short, my father decided to sell the company.
That was wise.
Because
that wasn't you.
It
wasn't you as a person.
It wasn't me.
You didn't want to come out here in the world and run a company of flowers with 200
people
employees
that I barely know.
That you barely know, yeah. That wasn't you. That's real. That's good,
Yeah, so what happened then, then I went to Ethiopia. I did some water drilling in Ethiopia.
Bro, you went to Ethiopia?
I love Ethiopia.
You went to Ethiopia?
Yeah, I love Ethiopia, but I went to Wareta.
Did you survive in Ethiopia? Because the ladies, my goodness, that's where, Queen Sheba came from,
I didn't know that.
The Bible?
No, well, Queen Sheba. They discovered recently Sheba's temple, which was been hidden for so long, and they discovered Queen Sheba, actually her temple in Ethiopia. So when I went to Ethiopia, I did trips to Lalibela, to Aksum. So Aksum is famous for its, what do you call these things? They have them in Egypt. Obelisks.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then Lalibela has a church that, and somewhere in Ethiopia they have the oldest recorded Bible, which is around 400 years old.
True. An Orthodox kind of thing.
Yeah, an Orthodox Bible. It's held by one priest who, at the age of, I think, 4 or 5, is placed into that place and can never get out.
What?
So I loved Ethiopia because of...
I wouldn't survive in Ethiopia, bro.
Because of the chicks.
The ladies, bro. Damn, Ethiopia, man. I can't. Ethiopia is just madness, bro. I can't, bro. I just can't, man. I had an ex who was an Ethiopian, and she took me once to their community, and I almost slept. I almost slipped. You
almost slept or you almost slipped? There's a big
difference
between the two.
Let me not slept. I almost slipped, man, because it was like everybody's looking like a flower, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
well, lucky for me,
it's confusing. It's like a music video set.
Yeah, exactly. Well, lucky for me is that my fiance looks very
Grounds
Ethiopian.
You, eh?
No, and she looks very Ethiopian as well, so I don't have to...
Actually, that's what I wanted to ask you.
I can just look at her and just say, oh, you know, she's the most beautiful flower, so why? I could survive in Ethiopia. I didn't meet my...
But I can tell she has some African in her. If you bullshit, she's gonna...
Oh,
you know
trust me.
I
am
can
the one...
see her eyes, you know.
I'm the one who's being forced to mop the house now in this relationship.
That's beautiful, man.
It's a big turn from what I'm used to.
It's the takeover for women, man. You can't avoid that.
No, it's a beautiful thing, man. Let me tell you, relationships and finding the right woman in your life.
Yes.
Of course, looking for beauty is one thing, but looking for somebody that you feel is going to complement your life for the rest of your life.
And also upgrade you.
Upgrade you and motivate you to be a better person.
Exactly.
You know, and it's not always... Sorry.
We'll get to that. So Ethiopia now.
Ethiopia back. So I went drilling for water in Ethiopia. I didn't stay that long. I stayed there for about 6 months, did about 6 months in Ethiopia. I was posted in Wareta, which is like the equivalent to Nikusema or Turkana. You know, they've never seen Muzungus or anything like that.
Yes.
Ethiopia, water drilling, got into it, learned a lot from it, made good friends. And then I came back to Kenya, and that's when we were just left like, okay, there's no company, I don't have an education, I don't have a degree. And we live in this world where a degree is very important. You know, that's what people look at. The first thing as an employer, like, show me your CV, what have you done, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have very much on my CV. I had a couple of years. But on paperwork, oh, you work for your parents. So it's a bit downgrading, you know, because, you know, it's not like working for your parents is different than working for an employer.
Exactly, yeah. It shows some sign of independency and not attachment.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
So it was very difficult for me at that point, and I was still not very ready into what I wanted to do. So my father builds houses, as I mentioned. So at this point...
Oh, he's a real estate developer?
No, he does it on his own. It's his little side hustle thing. He loves building, so he does that. So
he's into construction, let's say just that.
Yeah.
Real estate construction.
He builds houses and then rents them out. And he does it...
That's real estate business. He's a real estate entrepreneur.
He does it more because he just loves building houses, actually. He doesn't...
80s?
Yeah, at his 80s, yeah.
Man, I really want to meet your dad. That's inspirational.
Yeah, if you would want to meet my dad, he's very intense. He's a very intense guy. I'll tell you that. So yeah, so we were there now. We brought in this container for flooring because we looked at what's on the market.
Okay.
And we realized that there were some suppliers, but they were really monopolizing the fact that they were monopolizing the market in Kenya and using that to their advantage. So the prices were really high. Enormous. And so my father actually decided to go and import himself directly. But the problem is when you import a container. You import a container, you import enormous volumes.
Yes.
So the house was not equating to the amount that they had to import. So we were there sitting with half a container of leftover flooring.
What?
And that's when I just had the initiative with my mom, and we were like, what do we do with this flooring? And we just went into it, and I created my little phase. That's how it starts. You know, people don't realize a business or anything starts with an idea.
Exactly. It's the spark of the idea, an interest.
An interest.
Yes. So you took interest of the machinery that was just sleeping there?
Yeah, exactly.
And you saw an opportunity, which is called an opportunity cost. Because here you are not incurring anything, the machine is there for you. So that's how you found it, and that's a beautiful...
It found me, rather.
You're a smart person,
So, but again, it was difficult because, so we started, I created my Google account, you know, the whole online presence thing. Wow. I studied my competition, what are their strategies of marketing. But we sat there, I tell you, my mom and I, in a small, tiny office that was attached to our house. I mean, we started off very humble beginnings, and it took us 6 months to the dot almost to have our first client. It took us 6 months. It's business based on trust.
Exactly. Persistence. Persistence.
Persistence and trust, and so once we had this first client, I remember it was a big project. It was actually an interior designer, and we actually messed up the job.
It happens. It's doomed to happen.
So we messed up the job, but we learn from these things, you know.
You learn. Business it's like life in itself. It's a whole life in itself. I always tell guys, in business, it's never a loss. It's just a lesson.
It's a lesson. Thank you. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's pretty much where I then 6 years down the line now.
So you've been doing this for 6 years consistently.
Yeah. Well, I have my side hustles. You know,
Nice.
Never put all your eggs in one basket.
It's true. It's true. You're a good risk taker. I can see that.
If you don't take a risk, you know, that's again a bikers are risk takers. You know.
Yes. I see now.
To anyone listening out there, date a biker.
Yo, so I mean, we have discovered the fact that you got a good opportunity cost, and you got a situation whereby you spotted, a dope avenue for you to be able to branch out and make yourself a company. And I always tell guys, the best businesses are the ones which start small and end up big. Because all businesses gotta start from somewhere. It's the consistency and the passion and the drive that keeps you going to build a blue chip company. So you're here now, 6 years later. I mean, you just discovered this place, this business. You have this business. How has it been? Like, through the 6 years period, did you ever come into a situation whereby, because I believe you're here because of the clients who have kept you afloat all these 6 years. Otherwise, you'd have shut down if there were no clients.
Oh, of course, yeah, you have costs.
So when was your breakthrough? When were you like, man, we just came from now a startup to an established company? When was it? When did it happen? And how did it come about, actually?
It's difficult to say because it's really it's a procedural thing. It doesn't just happen.
Okay.
I had my main competitor who was in the market already 5 years before I started. So he had a nice leadway.
Okay.
He has an IT background.
Okay.
So he's very well aware of how to promote and where to target and all this stuff. So I had a big learning curve at this point. I actually stopped for 1 year during these 6 years. It's a family business, so it's run by my mom and I.
Yes.
My mom also in her 70s, so soon to be completely mine. But so I took 1 year off to go to Moringa School. It's a nice school actually, where they teach you how to learn IT, programming, how to target SEO settings and all that. And it also teaches you how to learn.
Yes.
So I took my time off, went to Moringa, learned how to make a website, to improve, how to target, and where I see myself, it's been, as every business, it's always challenging. I mean, you have moments where you see your competition, you look on, I'm sure even for somebody like you who's in the media industry, you look at your competition and all of a sudden you see, oh, this guy has 61,000 views and I have 20,000.
Yes.
And you're like, come on, and my content is better than his.
Yeah.
So how, sometimes you have these moments, but you don't give up. The moment you give up, and what you said, it really strikes me, is what you said about a business that starts from small. It's like a child.
It's like a baby, and you just gotta watch this baby grow, and from crawling,
fall.
To standing, to falling up and down. You just gotta learn. And I always tell guys, embrace the process. Don't run away from it. You went through each and every emotional step of an entrepreneur on a startup level. That's what defines whether you'll have a blue chip company that will go ahead and become a global company. So what you're doing right now as an entrepreneur is very, very recommendable. Like, actually, you're doing a good job. Even taking a break. Sometimes it's wise. It's wise.
To take a step back.
To take a sit back and see, what am I not doing right? And then now coming back with all this intellectual, knowledge that you've gained from different people, and now, just full force focusing on it. So have you ever gotten all this throughout the process? Did you ever land on a big scale job that you feared to mess up, but you still delivered it to your potential?
We're doing one right now. It's called Tilisi Views. It's a development in Limuru, huge development.
Wow.
So we're working on one right now. It's for me the first time that I actually had to take a bond, an insurance bond for quite a sum of money.
Yes.
So again, it's a continuous learning curve. But right now, I've had, of course, these hurdles.
Yes.
My mom told me, you know, this recurring thing always came back that I never went to university. But my mom always used to tell me, do you know that what you're doing here is more than university? Because most people step out of university and you have this knowledge, but you don't have the experience.
You can't do it. You can't execute. Actually, if I look at myself, when I was in campus, I went to business school and I studied entrepreneurship. And we were 6 people in that class.
Yeah.
And when we started, we were like about 50 students, but everybody went to pick careers that will give them a job security that they'll earn a good income at the end of the month.
But was that a smart move?
Now, here's the thing. For me, I grew up with a matatu driver, watching a matatu driver doing what he has to do. So, the fact that I was inspired to do entrepreneurship by my dad inspired me to study entrepreneurship while I was in school, so that when I come out, because I saw he had freedom of time, he had freedom to do things that he really loved. He had time for us, despite what he went through as an entrepreneur. So at the end of the day, I still took it upon myself to take entrepreneurship. So when we came out from campus, all 6 of us never had jobs. All the rest of the people that left,
had jobs, yeah.
People just started balling out of control. Matter of fact, I remember there was my partner, my colleague, not even my partner, my colleague. She left and she ended up being an accountant in the UN organization.
Straight from uni?
Straight from uni. Man, when I met her, because she told me, yo, you know, let's meet lunch. It's been a while. We graduated. I haven't seen you. I was like, yeah, thank you, man. I'm trying to buy your lunch. You know, I'm a broke guy. You know, I'm broke. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I only had bus fare to go see her. Yeah. I had to think, how am I going to go back home? And when I went to see her, the first thing she looked at me, she knew, okay, this guy doesn't have a job first and foremost. So, because we've been speaking, you know. Yeah. So when I sat down with her, at the UN. Have you ever been to the UN?
Yeah, my brother-in-law works at the UN.
So you know how classy it is? And
I know how hard it is to get in there.
How hard it is to get in. Yeah. But for me, when I was inside there, I'm just saying, wow, you know, you're working in a very good environment, space, man. I'm inspired already. And we had this great lunch, you know, a buffet. And I'm thinking, damn, how will I even pay this lunch? Because I'm the guy, and I'm supposed to pay this lunch.
Oh, God. The dilemma.
Yeah, the dilemma. I'm supposed to pay for this lunch, you know. So, no, the company takes care of it. Let's go. It's free lunch, company lunch.
Imagine,
So I got lucky. So I'm thinking, when I'm leaving here, I'm the one who has to pay for the bus transport.
But did you ever, at any point during this meeting, just tell yourself, hey, I wish I had not listened to my dad?
I had a lot of regrets. I started feeling like I picked the wrong course. I could have just stuck to do financing. Probably I'd be here. Because when she got the job, she told me I have an opportunity to recommend another accountant because we are looking for more accountants.
But you didn't do accountancy.
But I didn't do accounting, so I was just feeling bad. You know, I'm feeling like, man, I let myself down. You know, which is part of the emotional process of an entrepreneur. You gotta feel that type of feeling so that you know, when you get it, you're thankful for the situation that you
value.
Through.
You understand the value.
You understand the value. Yeah. So I'm thinking, man, I gotta pay transport. Yeah. I want money, bro. Yeah. So I'm looking at her and she's telling me, yo, we gotta take a taxi. I'm thinking, God damn, we gotta take a taxi. Our brother is broke and I couldn't pay for that lunch. Now you're gonna tell me to take a taxi? Yeah. I'm like, I gotta come through for this taxi because she paid my lunch.
So what do you do?
So as we are walking, I'm seeing as we are walking towards the parking lot.
You just found money on the floor?
Okay, we're walking towards the parking lot. We're not walking towards outside the place. Wait. I'm watching and I'm seeing this blue BMW that's just come out in the market. Brand new, complete, and it's...
Wait, that was a taxi? No, that was her car.
So I didn't know. So this is where it gets interesting. She gets in her hand purse and she presses the button and the car is...
blinking.
And the car seats are not even, you know the way the car comes brand new, it even has
the little paper. No, but that was showing off, okay? I mean, that's
She
extra.
wasn't showing off. It's her real life. She's getting that kind of checks. So you can go take a loan.
Bro, how can you just invite somebody over, you know this guy is broke, and kumbe you're just leaving even the plastic on the seats. Yo.
See, for her, she's trying to make my life feel like it's worthy of me living, not stressing. She's a good friend. Actually, she's a Somali lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's really mindful of me, you know, and she's Muslim. So I'm thinking, okay, so it's all good. So I took myself there because I'd made a promise that I'd show up.
Okay.
So I only had one way bus fare to go and see the lady.
Yeah.
So I'm entering this BMW and I'm thinking, man, she got a rich boyfriend. And then as we're driving out, she says, oh, you know, actually the bank gave me a loan, so I took the car. You know, I took this BMW because, you know, they saw my salary has the potential to pay it back.
Okay, wow.
Because she got a 5-year contract.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
Which is hard to get in the first.
Hard to get.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm just a letdown, man. You know, in life, I'm a failure already. I took my dad through all this stress in campus, you know, and I'm here, you know. So as we're driving towards town, because she's gonna have to drop me in town, she's like, yo, you know, we'll pass by the taxi bay. I'll leave you to take the taxi. She's thinking I have money for taxi. So and I'm looking at her.
Of course, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. Just draw me there. And then she enters her purse and she gave me 10,000 in cash.
Oof, okay.
10,000.
How did you feel? How did you?
I refused it. I was like, no, I don't want to take
like,
that.
yeah.
You know, as a man, you have pride.
Some ego.
No. I'm okay. I can pay for my taxi. Don't even worry about it. No, I'm all good. And she's like, yo, listen to me. Listen to me, Castro. I won't tell you again because I know a man's pride. I know you don't have this money. Take it.
Yeah.
And I had to, you know, swallow the, you know, the pride and take the money. And when I left there, bro, my life just got triggered and I knew I gotta be this new person. So she didn't even realize she gave me bus fare for the whole month. Because that was my bus fare now for the whole month.
What she gave you was not even just that. What she gave you was a lesson in life.
Beautiful.
What she gave you at that moment was not just the money. What she gave you at that time was an understanding that you have so much ahead of you.
Exactly.
And it kind of woke you up.
It woke me up.
In a
Actually,
sense.
if it wasn't for that money, I wouldn't have managed my first client, who was an actor, Nick Mutuma. I wouldn't have managed him because I needed bus fare to meet him.
Yeah.
Regular meetups, everyday meetups. But I said, from that onwards, for the little money that she has given me, because I vowed to my dad I wouldn't ask him for money after campus ever again, because he took a loan to take me to campus.
Yeah.
I told her, your money, the 10,000. You remember the 10,000?
So you actually met her again?
I've met her multiple times.
Yeah.
And she keeps laughing.
I'm sure she's proud of you where you are now.
Yo, let me tell you, she's my biggest fan. She watches all my clips. She likes all my pictures on Instagram. And she was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was that impactful. Actually, I was giving you that money so that you can go buy yourself something, you know, that will make you feel warm. But I told her I used that money for my transportation to meet Nick. And when I was meeting Nick, I knew my money was about to end. We landed on a big gig, which was Sugar.
What?
A movie. There was a series known as Sugar.
Oh, Sugar, yeah, Sugar.
HIV
yeah,
awareness.
the AIDS thing, yeah.
Yeah. And I got to meet Lupita Nyong'o, so my life just
exploded right there.
From there, it just flipped. And I'm like, man, this is crazy, bro. You know? So opportunities sometimes and how you affiliate yourself with people sometimes really matters. So how you position yourself for this situation that you're in really matters. So you got yourself a big gig, which you're doing right now, and I'm proud of you as a company.
Thank
you.
you.
Matter of fact, let me even go back a little bit. I forgot to ask you something. Your company name.
Yeah.
Your company name.
Yeah.
Tell us your company name.
Well, the company name is, and here I'll pronounce it properly, is Decomagna.
Decomagna.
No, and trust me,
is it Decno or
Decomagna.
Decomagna.
I'm not the one who picked it.
Who picked it?
My dad picked it long time ago.
Man, your dad is swaggy. I really want to meet your dad.
No, what the hell do you mean?
Your dad is swaggy. That's a dope name.
Everyone who calls.
It sounds like a rapper. Decomagna.
Exactly, but everyone who calls me, everyone who is like, is this It's like Decomagna. Yes, no, it's Decomagna. It's not.
It's like saying Travis Scott. Decomagna.
Decomagna, yo. That's representing in the building.
Shit.
So anyway, so the name actually Deco, of course Deco, everyone knows Deco.
Yeah.
Magna is Latin for big, splendid, magnificent, Magna Carta. So Magna, Magnus. So it's we are big on deco. The Latin translation is we are big on deco. That's our thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and since the company was initiated, you know, we couldn't change the name, and we thought it was catchy. I mean, we could choose to say floor installers, floor providers. So we decided Decomagna. Let's do, and it also added a bit of leeway so that we could expand. So if we wanted to move out of flooring, which is what we want to do in 2021, touch wood. So in 2021, if we can expand and go into actual modular furniture and cabinetry and stuff like that. So yeah, no, that's, the name is a bit weird. We always get phone calls of people trying to figure out how to pronounce the word.
But it's really dope. So, you know, right now, your business is back afloat. This year has been very tight on businesses because of the corona, the COVID, of course. What, you being in business, what's your biggest fear, bro? What's your biggest fear? Just being in the business world, what's your biggest fear, actually?
I'm not going to be cliche and say the fear of losing, because loss is always a part of life, and you gain and you lose. I am a Muslim myself.
You're a Muslim?
I'm a Muslim myself. And
listen, Lambert, you just keep surprising me with all these things, man. And how did you, okay, sir, we'll continue. We'll talk up behind cameras.
But in Islam, and also I guess in Christianity, there's a belief, just the same way you told me this story about this Somali lady, that small things have the biggest actions, and you don't, everything happens for a reason, you know, and as in fear of a business, I mean, of course there is the fear of my competition beating me, the fear of the economy going down. The biggest fear that I have is losing the passion that I have for what I do.
That's deep, you know that, right?
Yeah, that's my biggest fear, and that's why you always need to work with people that you appreciate working with. You need to be proud. You need to deal with every client like it's your first and last client. And you need to, and that's my fear. I want to live this, I want to see my baby grow, I want to see my baby get married, I want to see my baby get old, and eventually see my baby get into the hands of owners who are going to take care of the company. That's really my biggest fear. My mom and I have put so much effort, so much work, so much time behind this. Yeah, that's really, I think, one of the main fears.
That's really deep. That's really solid. And at the end of the day, we being entrepreneurs, we always have our go-to people. We always have like people that we go to, like I call them OGs in the business. You know? Like
shots fired.
You know, you gotta have an OG. You know, just somebody who's always telling you, yo, you're moving left, not you're supposed to be moving right, not left. You know, who's your go-to person whenever you need business advice, whenever you need to talk to them about your emotional, you know, processes. Who's your go-to person?
I have a number of people.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I always thought of it like this, is like you are at the head of the table and you have people advising you. These people are not the ones who are going to take responsibility for the decision that's made. They will only give their input. You as an employer or as a businessman is the person who ultimately makes it or breaks it based on these decisions. So I listen in the first place, of course, to my dad. He's been in business. He's a doctorate in law from the University of Leuven in Belgium. Then, of course, my mom, since we work together all the time. I'm there with my mom. We're sitting there together. My fiancée, wife-to-be, she's definitely in all the major big decisions. I always call her.
You know what they say? Every successful man has
an even more successful woman behind him.
You already know.
So there's that, and then of course I also listen to friends. I think in the business world, it's important to make relationships with people that are diverse. You know, you don't want to go too much into one direction. So I listen to people from different backgrounds, different experiences. Yeah, so I think that's what I do. And
what's your long-term goal? What's your long-term goal?
Okay, well, long-term goal, I read that one because you sent me that question before, and I thought about it, and the thing that came to my mind was Shamrock Group. That's an idea. It was a stupid idea, you know, well, stupid under quotes idea that I had when I was 16, and Shamrock Group would touch 4 aspects. It will be touching construction, it will be touching IT, it will be touching so organics, so botanics, plants, making medicine from plants. And the 4th field was kind of left blank, but the 4th field now has actually turned into media and into empowering people to give their stories. And the fantastic group that is recording this is actually also, you know, in this kind of vision where you empower. It's very difficult for people in Kenya to voice out themselves, to explain their lives. I had the blessings of, well, the blessings and the curses. They become, it's a two-sided blade. But I never really saw some sides of Kenya. I grew up in Kenya. I've lived in Kenya for over 20 years. But there are a lot of things that I have not seen. There are a lot of people out there that have a story to tell. So actually, that's part of like my passion also is really finding a way, developing a way on how to teach people on how to express themselves. It may be through film, it may be through writing a book, it may be through painting and graffiti, artwork, but really offering a platform. And how that is, I don't know yet. But the Shamrock group, including the IT sector, so I studied IT now, so I also program. I'm mostly a Python developer because I'm lazy. Python developers would understand why I'm saying that. But I program in Python, so allows me to create programs that, you know, AI programs and stuff like that. IT has really changed Kenya so much. Do you know that Kenya is probably at the Kenya and Ghana are the forefront of the IT. Forget about Egypt, forget about South Africa.
Forget all of them. Kenya and Ghana, I know tech, we are top notch.
You're top notch.
Top notch, you know. And that's why, like, you know, it's very hard for this country to run without an internet, you know.
If the internet goes down, the country goes down.
No, the economy will dip completely. So, I mean, before we conclude, what's your plan B if everything in business flops as it stands right now? Do you have a plan B?
Yeah, everyone has to have a plan B. You always need a plan B.
Imagine I don't keep a plan B. My plan A gotta work. Gotta work.
It's gotta work. It's gotta work.
It's
gotta sparkle.
Necessary.
It's gotta sparkle.
Malcolm X on that. Anyway, what's your plan B?
So my plan B, if the business flops, astaghfirullah, I would go straight into movie production and video production. Yeah.
So you have passion in making scenes?
I have passion in the voice. I would say I definitely do. I did a lot of CGI work. There's a program, it's a free program, it's called Blender. And I remember as a kid I used to make these animations and stuff. Then I got my first camera when I was 14 and it got stolen a month later, heartbroken. But I had fun with it, and so my plan B would really be going into documentaries. But you know, really, as I mentioned before, going into the lives of people. Not really in it. Well, of course, the money is part of it, but not really in it for the money, but really more in it for
inspiration.
For all the people that are out there. That deserve to be heard.
Wow, so you're like us. I see a lot of, you know, spirit in you for, you know, just fighting for human rights. You know what I mean? Like you want a peaceful world. You're the type of leader who wants to make sure that everything. You're a leader. You're not even a boss, man. I think you're a leader because you mind people first before yourself.
I was a bullied kid. Let me start there. When I was in high school, I have ADHD, so I was very bad at school. I get nervous tics, which is why I twitch and blink a lot. I was a bullied kid in school, so and bullied to the point where I was really, you know, my head was put in the toilet, and I really went through a harsh childhood. My father is a very nice person, but a very strict father. I went through a very strict childhood. And so I kind of understand what it feels like to be the underdog. And I fought my way in theory. I'm not talking about the company, I'm talking about me, myself. I fought to believe in myself again.
That's beautiful.
And seeing other people, that spark in their eyes when they believe in themselves. I think there's there's nothing that can come close to how valuable that is to somebody. To have an impact that when you die, the day you die, you're remembered, hey, this person actually did this for me.
Yes, that's what we call adding value to life. And you know, business people, we are responsible people. We are the ones who...
Well, not all of us. But
not all of us. Some are greedy. But, you know, the conscious business people, I believe that's what the world is shifting towards. You know, just with all these things that we are seeing, we're trying to make the world better. We're trying to make the world, you know, just to leave it better than we left it, because we had already ruined it. You know, the environment, with the global warming stuff, you know, and now Corona is here. I think because we're solution thinkers. We think about solutions, problem solving. We just problem solve all the time, you know?
Well, you train yourself.
That's, you just train yourself
to that, and it becomes an automatic response.
Yeah. So, as we conclude now.
Yes.
What would you like to be remembered as? And what's your best advice you can give to an African kid who's just launching a business, or, you know, they're just interested in joining business? And kindly separate those two questions. What would you like to be remembered as? And what would be your advice to a young, you know, youth out there who's inspiring to join the business world?
Let me start first with what I would say to youths who want to start business. The first question is another one. What I would really advise to any young aspiring, or young, or however old you are, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
If you're looking into getting into business in Kenya, first of all, know that you're going to face hurdles. Never give up. That is one thing. I had moments, I'm sure you had moments, where you say, man, this is too much. Yeah. Can I just stay in bed and sleep all day and just forget about it? No, just never give up. Keep fighting. Understand your market. Know who around you is doing it. Are you doing something that's unique, or are you just copying your neighbor? That's something important. You know, you want to know that you are doing something that's special, and it has to be something that has to come from the heart. You know, of course, if you're in a business, another thing is you need to understand that your point of view is going to have to change. If you want to be a business owner, you have to take responsibility. Being an employee is an employee, but being an employer, you're the one who pays the bills. If shit hits the fan, sorry for my French.
That's okay.
Then you're the one who will have to. You're the one who can go to court. You're the one who has to deal with this. And I have had to deal with court cases, things like that, things that I never thought I would have to face in my life. But yeah, it's actually, it comes in time. Don't expect results. Don't go out there thinking I'm going to start my business and I'm going to be a millionaire by the next year. Invest. Another thing, and this is something that I would say, listen to this. Do not be that person that buys a big car and wants to show off. That is the first way you're going to go down. Reinvest the money that you make. You know, if you have this amount of money, buy a new camera. Yes. If you need it, of course. Yes. Buy lights, buy this, buy that. So that don't start buying better clothes so that the people around you think of you, oh, this guy must have made it. No.
Yes.
Take it easy, reinvest back in the company, and pole, things will build up.
Will be okay.
Yeah.
I like that, because even you keep your life simple. You know, I've seen you a lot with the bike, but I know you could one day just pull up here with a Range Rover. You know, you're just that kind of person, let's say. You know, you're very simple, but even the way you carry yourself.
I would never show up here with a Range Rover.
You'll never drive a German? Never like...
Well, maybe if I'm older and I start getting some gray hair and I've proven myself for it. But for me, I like a bike because it's fast and it gets me from A to B. Yes. I hate cars. Unless it's raining. When it's raining, that's a different story. But I mean, for me, a car is just get me from A to B. Yes. And that's it. I don't like... Especially being a white person in Kenya, you already have this kind of preconceived notions. Oh, you know,
he's resourceful. He's resourceful. You have that mindset. Yeah.
So you also just want to avoid having people looking at you, all the attention and all this stuff. You know, just avoid the attention. Focus on your work. Focus on your passion. Reinvest in your passion. That's it. From there on, you will see it will grow up. You will have downs. You will have ups, but you'll keep fighting. You keep fighting. That's the only way to go.
Wow. Last remark, what would you like to be remembered
What would I like to be remembered as? A good husband, a good father.
Wow.
And hopefully somebody who has at least touched a few lives.
Can't even say anything further, man. Lucas, it's been an honor having you here.
Pleasure. The pleasure is all mine, Castro, really.
It's been inspirational meeting you. You know, I met you in a weird circumstance, but it ended up just looking so dope. You know, I mean, Lucas is just special, guys. You know, look up to him. I'll put his Instagrams there. I'll put his website, and follow up, check him out. You know, get some more business tips. Ask him any question. He's an open book. You know, I mean, this guy will just end up being my best friend. You might end up being my best man in my wedding. So,
hi,
bro.
You might end up being my best man in my wedding. My wedding's in December, so
inshallah.
Let's see
how we go.
Yeah, let's see who's gonna win here. It's a competition.
This was beautiful, man. I've never enjoyed commercial Fridays like this. So, karibu sana. I wish you have more Mzungus here who can speak like that, you know? But I think I'm really interested in meeting your dad, man. He looks like the staunch businessman that everyone.
Oh, he is. Trust me, my dad is. He's definitely the lawyer type. You know, he will put the points on the table before you even get started.
I like them because they see bullshit from afar and they can tell.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Bro, it's been a pleasure. It's all mine.
Karibu tena.
I keep tapping the mic, so anyways. Peace out.